Pittsburgh Sean here, and I'm going to make my video now on the Pens, which is a little belated, and I do apologize for that. I'm going to try to keep this pretty brief because actually I think it's pretty simple. Also, the Pens played 2 games this past week, and they won them. So the Pens are 2-0 to start the season, and that is a good start for the Pens, unlike the Steelers, who are 0-4. And thank God they had a bye week the last week because I'm tired of shouting and screaming. I just didn't make a video, and I'm like, I'm going to save my breath because in the end I'm going to be proven right on them, and I have nothing else to say until the changes start happening. They're done. Okay, I'm done with them until they start making the changes they need to make. I still obviously love them, support them, but as Stephen A. Smith says on First Take, I'm done with them when he refers to the Giants. I'm going to say the same with the Steelers. I'm done with them until they actually do something up in the front office that has any credibility to my liking. So there you have it. But as for the Pens, there you go. It is a 2-0 start and pretty good way to start. And Fleury played very well in the last 2 games. Now, obviously, I mean, I don't. A lot of people in Pittsburgh either really like this guy and really suck up to him like Ron Cook of the Post-Gazette. But then there are people that call into talk shows that really hate him and like to call in and basically troll the Pittsburgh talk shows when he does bad. Okay, so there's you either really love him or you really hate him. And I mean, I'm probably one of the only fans that are like, and I'm like, I don't have strong feelings for him one way or the other. But that said, he has good streaks and he has bad streaks. Okay, and this year, he's going to have some good streaks. And I think that's really what this season comes down to is good and bad streaks from Fleury. And he needs to minimize the bad streaks and get some more good streaks, especially since Volkun is out. Okay, and that was a very terrible way to go out. And I obviously send my thoughts to Volkun and him and hope he gets better and hope he's ready to return to the ice soon. But he's going to be out for a while. So Fleury's going to have to step up, and he's going to have to be a very good goalie this year. He's going to have to step up his game if we are to get back to the Cup like we did back in 2009. Because the Pens have the capabilities to get there. They're a very good team. I mean, Sidney Crosby, you never should diss him because he plays tough. He is a tough kid. He scores goals, and that's all he does. Okay, and you know what? Malkin, he's still there. I think he's vastly over-criticized by Pittsburghers. I think they use him as the scapegoat for everything around here. But I'll tell you what, he's also very good too. And basically, if they keep producing and we get production from our offense, then we should be in good shape. So therefore, it comes down to the goalie. How good does the goalie do? And if the goalie does good, then I think the Pens are going to go a long way this year. And hopefully this year we won't choke like we did in past years. But if he does bad, then it's going to be a problem, especially in the postseason, because that's when Fleury seems to fall apart. Now, he had that good year in 2009 when we won the Stanley Cup against Detroit. But then when he gets to the playoffs, it seems like it's the same thing every year. He struggles. Now, in fairness, he wasn't the only thing that struggled in those playoff appearances, and God knows. The scheme was terrible, and last year I was surprised that the coach did not get fired. Although, I mean, I don't know. I probably lean yes in firing him, but I think but he is back, but his scheme was terrible last year, and I didn't get why they. I mean, I just didn't get that. It was a debacle of a performance against Boston to be swept like we did. Just unacceptable, and the Pens are going to have to play a lot better than that once they get to the postseason this year if we hope to go far. So basically, I think it comes. I mean, it's really simple to me. I'm not a genius on hockey, but I mean, it basically. I mean, Fleury's basically this team basically, and how this team's going to go, along with this offensive production. If we keep getting production from Crosby and the rest of the bench, then I say we are in good shape this year. It basically offense and defense, and that's another thing too. The Pens are going to have to defend, and I mean, it's not just the goalie. Okay, I mean the Pens have to defend, or the goalie's in trouble regardless of who it is. Okay, so it basically is that simple. So that's what's going to have to happen for the Pens this year to be basically successful. In the first two games, they look pretty good. Beat Buffalo and basically dominated Buffalo. I watched the entire game, and the Pens were always getting into their zone. Buffalo didn't. Very rarely, and they couldn't do anything on the power play at all. The Pens shut them down completely. The Pens owned the Buffalo, I believe recently. I forget what Staggy said the stat. I mean, we basically dominated Buffalo in the last 20 games. So we just have their number. But basically, we were in their zone all the time. They rarely got in our territory. So I mean that's basically it. I mean, if you dominate like that, then you're probably going to win hockey games. That's basically it. So there you go. And then obviously the first game, also very, very good performance as well. But, I mean, the Buffalo game stood out. I watched that game. I didn't see the first game. But the second game, I saw that game and just dominant. The Pens just dominated that pretty much that entire game. It was a very good performance. And they got to keep it up. You got to keep breaking through center ice. I mean, if you're in their territory, chances are good. If you let them get in your territory, then the chances are not as good. And obviously that's pretty simple. Even a dummy in hockey like me could tell you that. So there you go. Pens are off to a good start. Let's see if they can keep it up. And finally, I'll say a word on the Pirates. It is 2-2 today after they lost to the Cardinals. That to me, I know I'm a pessimist, but that's not a good sign if you can't seal the deal at home. You got to be able, and this is a young team, so I give them a little bit of I'll slacken off them quite a bit. Unlike the Steelers, who deserve the harshest criticism possible, the Pirates are still a young team. This is their first year in the playoffs in 20 years. And so I give them a pass, but you have to be able to win at home, okay? You gotta, if you're up 2-1 and you have another game at home, you got to win that game. You got to produce. And the offense was terrible. Terrible. It was pathetic, okay? And it's been pathetic all year. But you got to be able to get it done when you're at home. You got the crowd, you got the energy, you got the enthusiasm. You're at home, you're in front of your home audience, which is cheering for you now. That stadium's the loudest I've ever heard it. So you got to get the job done. You got to be able to close it out. And I think that's a bad sign that they couldn't close it out, because now you're going back to St. Louis, and St. Louis is going to be excited. It's going to be a rocking house, and they're going to have the energy and passion, and they now have the momentum. I've seen this many times before, that when you can't close out a series, what happens? Okay, so I mean, for future references, maybe they do get the win. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to win, but it doesn't look good. Okay, and that's all I'm saying. And if you do win this game, you got to be able to close out. If you get ahead of the Dodgers, you got to be able to close it out. And if you're up, okay, you got to be able to close the deal. You got to be able to seal the deal if you have to advance. Okay, that's basically it. And good teams will do that. Okay, and championship teams will do that. They will get the job done, like the Boston Red Sox. They're getting the job done. Okay, but you can't give the team a chance. You got if you're up 2-1 and you have a home game, you got to close it out in a best of 5. That's basically it. And the Pirates did not do that, and for that they're in trouble. They're now in a little bit of trouble. But like I said, at the same time, I'm not going to be that harsh on them because they are still a new team, young team, I should say. And it's been 20 years, and hopefully, as long as ownership doesn't piss this up, piss the offseason up, they're going to keep getting better, and I think they will. And I think they're going to be in contention for some years to come. But again, it is going to be up to the ownership on that. But they are a young team. But for the future, the Pirates got to know to start shutting out series, or they're going to be like the Atlanta Braves and just be big chokers that get to the postseason, have a great year in the regular season, and then get to the postseason and choke. Because that's what the Atlanta Braves are doing. And I love the Atlanta Braves. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. But those frickin' players are choking again. And I think it's inexcusable for them because they have been going regularly pretty much for 20 years now. They've been there regularly in the postseason. And with the exception of 95, they keep choking. And I think it's unacceptable that they keep choking the way they're choking. The Braves, I mean, I'm pretty much done with them too, just like I'm done with the Steelers. I love them to death, but until they prove to me they can do something, then I'm done with them. I won't take them seriously. Okay, it is a shame. It is a goddamn shame. Okay, but LA will win this. Will win. They'll win the night. They're sending Atlanta home again. And it's going to be another long offseason for the Braves. And by the way, next year, the Nationals and the Phillies will be back. Mark my words, they will be back. So it won't be a slam dunk like this year. The Braves are going to have to battle, and they might not even make it next year, considering the Reds are good, the Cardinals are good, the Pirates will be good, I bet. The Nationals will be good, the Phillies will be good. And obviously you have one team coming out of the NL West. So Braves are in huge trouble next year, and they should have taken advantage, and they did not. So that's the difference between the Pirates and the Braves. The Braves are regular chokers, and the Pirates are still new. And they don't have much of an offense to begin with. So you kind of expected. But if you're up 2-1, it is a disappointment that you can't close out a series. So that's just my take. I'll still hope for the best. I'll root for the Pirates over the Dodgers if it goes to that game, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's basically it. That's Pens and Pirates talk rolled into one video. So let me know your thoughts on either of them. But for now, I'm off. Have a good one, everyone. Until later.